Hi y'all, Giana Cicchelli here. I just wanted to make a quick video because I went and saw Arrival last night and I need to talk about it because it like blew up my mind in such a good way and helped me realize there's this understanding of magic that I've been having a real difficult time explaining to people, and I think it has to do with nonlinear time or just a nonlinear paradigm. So first and foremost, Arrival. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the movie has a lot to do with the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which as a sociologist, I actually know about. How I understand the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is that you can tell what a society values based on the language that they use. So in like American society, we really dig war. I mean, we have wars on concepts. Like a war on poverty, war on crime, war on drugs, war on terrorism. For us, the way that we frame our understanding of certain ideas is to go to war with them. Now, I'm not making that a judgment call necessarily, but you can infer a lot about our society based on just that usage. For example, other societies who, let's say, interact with snow on a daily basis, they're going to have hundreds of words for the different types of snow and snow reality, right? Whereas here in California, I know the word snow. Ice. I know that icicles exist because of movies. Anyway, so different societies are going to have different language, and usually the language that they do have is indicative of what the society values. But the movie Arrival utilized this theoretical premise and stated that if like you learn somebody else's language, you become more like socialized into their reality, which is an interesting take on that hypothesis. I have to do some research to find out if that's the original take on the hypothesis or if that's an inference, but I dig it either way. So the movie is talking about, without messing this up for you, because you need to go see it. And I'm not talking about like see it because it's a good movie. I don't know if it's a good movie. I think it's phenomenal. But what really blew my mind is that they were able to convey a visual expression of non-linear time. And it was like, I was like, yes, as I'm watching the movie, like, yes, I know what's going to happen because yes, that's how it works. That's how it works. Yes, time is non-linear, but we have forced it into a linear reality, and we all collude with that understanding as a society, as a people, right? It is the duty of the shaman to step out of collusion with dominant reality, and thus most shamans will tell you that time is not real. Time is a construct. Time is also, I've been arguing this for a while, non-linear. And the way that I was like kind of matriculating, that's not the right word, percolating with the idea was like past lives. Like, I have multiple understandings of my past lives, but like on a linear timeline, it doesn't make any sense. But it started to make sense when I realized that time was like a spiral or a circle, so that when I changed things in my life in this lifetime, it trickled out to past lifetimes and future lifetimes. And that's okay with me, because I don't need to have control on every moment. Does that make sense? I'm okay with total fluidity of reality. I know that could make some people very uncomfortable, and if that's your way, whatever, no judgment. So why am I so like riled up? Oh, because when I first understood magic, I had these experiences that made me realize without a doubt that true magic exists. I've experienced magic on multiple levels, and it's overwhelming. And I want to say that in my initiation process into some of the deeper mysteries of magic, when I kind of like came out of that and came back to my world of like normative mundane reality, my friends and family, it almost seemed as if everybody was kind of like watching me to make sure I didn't fall off the edge. They were a little bit nervous about how I was doing because it seemed like I had been through something, and I had. And I could not explain it to anybody. I felt like I had a sudden understanding of reality that very few people understood, and it made my ability to communicate with people difficult. I realized that I just had to like not tell everybody all the stuff, because if they can't get it, then they're just gonna look at you like you're crazy. And that's fine. I don't care if they think I'm crazy, but it's more of like, it's a waste of energy to try to communicate with somebody who cannot understand. So when I had these experiences with Magick, I began to realize, like, so I was like, I'm super into math, super into like academia, and like I'm a sociologist, and like I love like that stuff. So when I first started learning Magick, I would do like little logical tests to like see if it was like really magic or a coincidence, and I would spend like, I would say 70% of my energy like with my little checklist. Well, that could have been this, it could have been this, it could have been, doesn't necessarily mean it's magic. It could have been this, could have been this. And then I had experiences with Magick, and it did this flip of my brain where I was like, translated. I suddenly was able to translate the language of Magick, and I understood it. And once I understood the language of Magick, everything I did was Magick. And I couldn't teach that to people except to lead them towards their own revelation. Does that make sense? So like, when you learn the language of Magick, you understand nonlinear logic that's still mathematically feasible. I can't explain it that well, but like I'm a super like into like logic and reason type of person, and I fully believe that Magick exists in a logical and reasonable manner. And I've been trying to explain that to people for kind of a long time, and now I realize the reason it was so difficult was because it tends to follow a non-linear pattern that is also psychic. So like in the movie, once she learns the language of the alien race, let's say, she suddenly, like, time is flexible and mutable, and she doesn't have any control over it, and it's very disorienting for the watcher of the movie, which was really cool. But it wasn't disorienting for me because I was like, yeah, that's how it works. Like, yeah, like, you have to learn to like let go and go with the flow of it all in order for you not to like puke because it's so disorienting. But once you let go and stop having a grasp on certain understandings of reality, when you can let go of that, then you are like, new understandings of reality are unlocked for you, and you can marvel in the awesomeness and the amazing, it's overwhelming. It's the ineffable. You can marvel at the ineffable and realize that like, oh, this has always been here. And it reminds me of this story that's been coming up a lot. My family's cat, Callie, recently passed away, and I keep remembering this conversation that she had with me. Yes, she had a conversation with me. It was while I was in my master's program, and I was working on like the sociological understanding of witchcraft and magic, right? And I ended up coming to this this finding that like magical practitioners utilize magic to transcend their standpoint of knowledge so they can have greater reference to greater knowledge or whatever, something like that. But my cat actually told me that. Was my sister's cat. One night she came over and she put her little mouth by my head, like really close, and she kind of looked at me, and then suddenly my whole head was filled with this like paragraph, right? She was speaking to me. I find that's how cats speak to me. They like put a whole thought. It's not sentence by sentence, it's a thought at a time, which is interesting because that's also how the aliens would communicate in the movie. I mean, they didn't say that exactly, but their language was like full concepts, not word by word. That makes sense. Go see the movie. Oh my God, go see the movie. So the cat tells me humans are sad. Actually, she said they were like, humans are funny, but like she did this in like a funny and a sad way, because they are the beings on this earth with unlimited potential for experience and perspective. Like, that's the difference, she said, that's the difference between humans and animals. It's not the opposable thumbs or whatever, but it's the fact that I'm a cat and I will always be a cat, and I'm not going to take on the perspective of anything else. But humans can take on the perspective of a cat, they can take on the perspective of a serpent, they can change their perspective to see things differently, but they lock themselves in their own perspective, and they alienate themselves from their full potential. Why am I telling you that? Because I feel like when we collude with consensual reality that tells us that, like, magic isn't real, or anything else that strips us of the wonder, we're colluding with one perspective, and we are holding tight to this reality that we can't let go of. But when you're able to sort of let go of things, you have the opportunity to experience life in a non-linear fashion. One last thing. There was this one scene where, like, she was trying to communicate with the aliens with the, like, ink that they were using, and, like, she didn't know how to do it, and then she thought of a situation and it formed. And I, like, all through the movie I was like, it's psychic. It's psychic language. Have you ever tried to communicate with somebody and they didn't understand you, not because you were saying words that were different, but because you didn't fully understand the concept, and so you couldn't fully embody the vibration of the concept? Like, I find when I'm teaching students that their comprehension goes up if I'm able to fully embody my understanding of the concept while I say it. It's almost as if language is one part, like hearing the physical words, and the other part is feeling the sensation of the concept. So this is my little video on Arrival. Go see it. Nonlinear time, yes, and nonlinear understanding of certain concepts, and how, like, a fully embodied reality can open the door for much greater understanding.